how to record the heaviest possible guitar tone. Before I show you the ins and outs of how to do it, I'm going to play you the guitar tone, because if you don't like the tone, you probably won't want to watch the rest of the video, and I'm going to save you some time, because that's the kind of bloke I am. Here is the sound. Okay, so if you're still watching it, you obviously like that sound. So here's how to record it. So I used this pedal, which is the Cloven Hoof by Earthquaker Devices. I used this guitar, which is just a Schecter Blackjack 7-string with Seymour Duncan pickups. This is the amp I used. It's a Fender Blues Deluxe. It's not the amp that most people associate with a heavy sound, but if you know what you're doing with it, you can make any tube amp sound heavy. So the secret to getting this sound is to actually use two mics when you're miking up the amp. So I'm using a Shure SM57 in the front of the amp, and I've got a Shure SM58, which I know is mainly a vocal mic, but it works perfectly well for instruments as well, in the back of the amp. So you do need an open back amp or an open back cab. If you haven't got an open back amp or an open back cab, you have a few options. You can borrow one, you can hire one, or you can just punch a hole in the back. So if you're recording with a tube amp, you need to make sure that your amp is loud enough for the tubes to really push through the best amount of tone. You will know when that happens because you'll hear it. If your amp is too quiet, you won't get enough of that fullness that you need. So you don't have to have it ear-splittingly loud, but you need to have it loud enough that the tubes are really working. So let's play the riff. So what we have here are my two guitar tracks. So track 1, track 2. So track 1 is the guitar that is in front of the speaker, the mic from the front of the speaker. So this is what that sounds like by itself. Okay, so this is what track 2 sounds like by itself, and this is the mic that was in the rear of the amp. So as you can hear, that is a lot darker sound. When you put both of them together, you get this. So the beauty of recording like this is you can then open your mixer window, and what I have here are my 2 guitar tracks. So if I want a slightly darker sound, I can decrease the amount of the first mic and increase the amount of mix coming in from the second mic, or if I want a brighter sound, reduce that darker track and increase the brighter track, which then allows you to add, with the same guitar track recorded at the same time, to change it around into how you want it to sound and find the perfect balance between the dark and the lighter track without having to do anything with the EQ. And that is how you record heavy guitars.